Hey guys, welcome back to some more Smash speculation, and for today, we're going to be talking about this again. So yeah, I made a whole video about Sakurai's tweet of these two stopwatches and the clock hands on them and what that could all mean, but we're going to have to revisit this one because something has been noticed. So like I said when I went over this one last time, this is sort of tinfoil hat stuff to ever read into Sakurai's tweets of the day, his pictures that he posts on Twitter, because they don't ever seem to really yield anything significant for Smash speculation, but honestly, this one seems to have a lot of people talking about it, and with this new thing that was figured out, I think this one is worth looking at a second time. Okay, so just to recap it briefly, this is the image. It's two stopwatches with two different times on them, and there's like this swirling vortex background, and we were guessing at potential characters this could point to, or if the times on the clocks themselves could actually mean something. The conclusion I came to in my last video was essentially that potentially the clock hands are actually dates happening further in the year this year. Now, whether or not you bought into the dates theory for these stopwatches, it didn't really matter. My whole point was just that that's why this one was getting so much attention. I said people who don't normally speculate were looking at this one and talking about it, and that was why. It was mostly because people were sort of reading into this one as potentially being dates. Even people like Hungrybox, who again is someone who doesn't necessarily speculate Smash all too often, had tweeted this out, showing the different times on the two different stopwatches could be converted into dates, and potentially those two dates could line up for things happening for Smash in the future. And that's really why this one was getting so much attention to begin with. That seemed to be the consensus among everyone who was speculating this, that that's probably what this one was about, if it was a hint towards something. However, something new has been noticed about this tweet, something that makes this almost certainly a reference to a very specific character, and not anything to do with the exact dates that those clock times could be converted to. So I now think this one is actually a reference to a specific character, a character that seems pretty likely for Super Smash Bros. So last time, the two characters we talked about this tweet possibly being a reference to were Chrono from Chrono Trigger, or Crash because his latest game is Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, which is all about time travel. Over on Twitter, the Time Stone had sent me, Papagenos, maybe it's about time Crash Bandicoot is in Smash. And then a picture of Sakurai's tweet, a picture of Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, and then a picture of a loading screen which looks a lot like that swirly vortex background. So yeah, there was always the possibility this could be a reference to Crash Bandicoot, but that wasn't why I thought this one was getting so much attention, and I still stand by that. Initially, I think this one was being looked at because those clock times could be converted into dates. That was why this one was getting looked at so hard. But someone noticed something very specific about this, which now makes it seem very likely this is in fact a reference to Crash Bandicoot. So the new bit of information that's been noticed has to do with the character Dr. Nefarious Tropy, or N-Tropy as he's usually called. I won't talk too much about the plot of Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, as I know the game is still relatively new, and I don't want to spoil too much for people, but N-Tropy is a major part of that game, and actually has a female counterpart. So there are two N-Tropys in the game, a female and male N-Tropy. Now, I'm not sure who first noticed this, but I first saw it from Mr. Evaporation over on Twitter. They wrote, "Guys, what if?" and showed the Sakurai tweet. Then they showed the female and male N-Tropy from Crash Bandicoot 4 and pointed out the clocks in their helmets. If you look closely, the clocks are the exact same time as the two stopwatches that Sakurai tweeted out. Given all the possible combinations of two times on two clocks, this seems way too specific to just be a coincidence. This is almost certainly purposeful. The chances that the times Sakurai tweeted out and the times on N-Tropy's helmets are the same is astronomical. It's almost impossible this would just be a coincidence. The Crash Bandicoot Reddit said, the Smash Bros. Director tweeted a picture of two clocks, and the hands match perfectly with the hats of male and female N-Tropy. Crash is either confirmed, or this is somehow a major coincidence. Honestly, I don't think this could possibly be a coincidence. It's way too spot on. The amount of different times there are, and both of them lining up, it's nearly impossible they'd be the same without some intention behind the times that Sakurai tweeted out. Here's several pictures of N-Tropy, and those times do appear to be fairly static. In most pictures of them, those are the times on their clocks. So I'm no longer waiting to see if something happens on October 30th. I now truly believe that that is what Sakurai was tweeting out about. That was a reference to Crash Bandicoot 4. Now, Crash Bandicoot has been a character that many people have speculated about for Super Smash Bros. He's honestly a huge gaming icon and would fit perfectly with the Smash cast. He's one of the few gaming characters that truly feels missing from the Smash roster at this point. There was also a potential leak for Crash that happened very recently that could point to him coming to Smash Bros. Ultimate. Basically, an Activision 5-year plan for the Crash Bandicoot franchise supposedly leaked online as some sort of document that had all the major steps they were going to do for Crash, one of which, the only one we haven't seen yet, was Crash coming to Smash. Now, I've never seen this document, so I don't know whether or not it exists, so I am a little wary of it, but Crash coming to Smash does seem very likely to me, and I wouldn't be that surprised if this 5-year plan did involve Crash coming to Smash. I just haven't seen it myself, so I really can't back it up, but that's what people are saying they've seen. There were legitimate articles about a 5-year plan existing, but not the specifics of what was on that 5-year plan. That potential Crash document leak aside, I do think this is a tweet from Sakurai that does reference Crash Bandicoot 4, specifically N. Tropy, with those two different times. However, the real question now is, was this a hint towards Crash coming to Smash, or is this just a reference to something from Crash? Whether or not Sakurai is hinting at Crash or simply referencing a game series he likes, Crash Bandicoot, maybe he's played Crash 4 and decided to reference it, that's where this gets tricky. So I've talked before about how Sakurai's picks of the day have rarely yielded anything significant for Smash speculation, though some of them may actually be references to things in gaming. Sakurai, of course, is a gamer. He likes to game. He has a huge gaming collection. He plays a lot of video games. That's why he's such a good director for the Smash Bros. Series. So Sakurai's picks of the day are clearly done for fun, so if he just has a game on his mind, he can make a pick that references that, and that might be all that it is. Now, I'll admit, Crash seems very likely for Smash, and this very well could be a hint, but that's really what the question is. Is this a hint towards something, or is it just a reference towards a game? For instance, here's one of Sakurai's old picks of the day. It's a picture of Marth, and it has Isabelle on his shoulder. Now, I truly believe this is a reference to Puyo Puyo and Arl with Carbuncle on her shoulder. If you look at Marth's armor, if you look at how well Isabelle stands in for Carbuncle, I really think this is in fact a reference to Arl. But does that mean Arl is coming to Super Smash Bros. As a playable fighter? I don't know. Is it maybe a Puyo Puyo Spirit event or an Arl Mii costume? Or is nothing Puyo Puyo coming to Smash and Sakurai just made this image to reference that game because he's a fan of it? It's really hard to say, even when you seem to find out the exact thing the picture is referencing, whether or not that is simply a reference or an actual hint towards something coming to Smash. And there is a lot of debate whether or not Sakurai ever hints at anything for Smash. Personally, I think he sometimes does, but I don't know when he specifically does and when he's specifically just referencing things, so it's really hard to say. Before we got King K. Rool and Simon revealed, Sakurai said, "Don't worry about my red eyes in tomorrow's Super Smash Bros. Direct." And red eyes fits really well for K. Rool as he has one big red bloodshot eye, and also Castlevania has a song called Bloody Tears, which could also fit for red eyes. Now, I personally think this was Sakurai hinting, but some people don't believe that, so I'll leave it up to you what you think of that one. For Byleth's reveal video, before we knew it was Byleth, Sakurai was holding up those 3 fingers. We then found out in Byleth's trailer that that was Sakurai counting in binary code, and it was in fact a hint at 3 houses. That one's probably the most confirmed hint Sakurai's ever given us for a character. Conversely, however, there was those purple and yellow chairs in the background that everyone obsessed with, but didn't turn out to be anything significant. So sometimes I think Sakurai does hint, other times I think we read way too much into things, so it's really hard to say when something is a hint, when we're reading too much into it, or when Sakurai's just having fun referencing games. So I no longer think the clocks have anything to do with specific dates, but it was such a weird image that so many people were reading into it to try to find something out that we did yield it to be a possible reference to Crash Bandicoot. So my conclusion now that we've seen this N. Tropy theory, I think this is in fact a reference to Crash Bandicoot 4. Specifically the times on the 2 N. Tropy characters' clocks, it's just way too specific. The odds of that happening by coincidence are really slim. I just think it's kind of impossible this isn't a reference. Now, whether or not it's a hint at Crash coming to Smash Bros., I don't know. Do I think Sakurai hints? I think he sometimes does. Do I think he hints very often? Probably not. And so far, these picks of the day haven't really been hints. So is this one a hint towards Crash? Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe it's just a reference. That's where I'm not sure about this one. However, Crash does have a lot of other good things going for him. He's a very likely character for Smash. He seems like the type of character that really should be on the Smash roster. Fighting alongside Mario and Sonic just feels perfect for Crash to have those rivalries from the 90s all together in Smash. So I think the odds of Crash getting into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate are extremely good right now, but does this tweet from Sakurai confirm it? No, it might just be a reference. I leave it up to you whether or not you think this reference is enough to think Crash is definitely coming to Smash or not. Personally, I think he's extremely likely. He'd probably be on a prediction list from me, but I don't think this tweet actually confirms Crash for Smash just yet. Another character people would really like to see show up in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Nomura, the director of Kingdom Hearts, said something very interesting recently. Over on Twitter, @YourCasualWeeb tweeted me, in a recent interview with Nintendo Magazine, Nomura, director of Kingdom Hearts series, said this about Kingdom Hearts on Switch. And if you look at the image from the interview, it says, question, it's rare that Nomura's Kingdom Hearts titles has debuted in a Nintendo Dream magazine. Nomura responded, I think we can meet again here sometime soon, too. @YourCasualWeeb went on to say, he already deconfirmed previous titles coming to Switch, so maybe it's Sora in Smash. @GoNintendo tweet wrote, rumor, Nomura may be hinting at more Kingdom Hearts content for Switch. So yeah, in that interview, it appears Nomura is suggesting that something Kingdom Hearts on Switch will happen and he'll be able to be interviewed for that magazine again. Whether or not he said that because Sora's coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, or simply more Kingdom Hearts games are coming to Switch, who knows, but it's possible it could be for Sora showing up in Smash, so it's something to keep in mind, I suppose. @VGC News wrote, Phil Spencer says any potential new Banjo-Kazooie or Conker games are up to Rare. They specifically quoted, they do like building new things, but also the response to Battletoads was nice. So obviously whether or not any of the old Rare IPs get a new game is entirely up to Rare, but Phil is saying here that Battletoads had a good response, so maybe they'll pull up some more IPs, but it's entirely in Rare's hands. It would be really cool if we got a new Banjo-Kazooie game or a new Conker game or something, but we'll have to wait and see if Rare wants to do that. And finally, I have no idea if this is true, but I've heard a lot of people talking about this rumor. Over on Twitter, @YushaEX wrote, fun fact, Minecraft Steve is a low-poly placeholder model of Tommy Vercetti from when Notch was thinking of making Minecraft a GTA fan game. Not even joking. And when you look at Steve and Tommy next to each other, I could see that being a low-poly Minecraft version of Tommy Vercetti. So, kinda crazy if this rumor's true, because it would kind of mean that Grand Theft Auto is now in Super Smash Bros., and that's something I never thought would happen. This is, however, just a rumor, so I can't really back this one, but it's really interesting. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, so I figured I'd highlight it here. Alright guys, well that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. I'm just sort of waiting to see if we get another partner showcase this month. We got one the last 3 months in a row, so it does seem like we'll probably get one at some point here in October. Sometimes they've been shadow dropped though, so it might happen as a surprise at some point. What do you guys think about the Sakurai tweet and it possibly relating to Entropy and therefore being a reference to Crash 4? And do you think it's a reference or do you think it's actually a hint at Crash coming to Smash? I think the odds of it being just coincidental that those clocks match up are way too slim, so I really do think it's at least a reference. But let me know what you think in the comments below. So once again, thank you guys for all the subscribes, all the likes, really helps out the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, or like the video, or leave a comment, whatever you want. Until next time, have a good one.